time of the essence. A long pregame before the anthem. And we welcome you back to Budweiser Gardens, the last day of the regular season. Orangeville A's playing against the London Lightning. I'm Aaron Sanders alongside JP Justin Prince. The Orangeville A's, once again, they should thank their lucky stars. They beat Niagara yesterday. Now they have a playoff spot. But as for both teams are concerned, they might be going for a vanilla offense.
Yes, as both coaches told me before today's game, it is on. Basically, both coaches said that they are having vanilla offenses. They don't want to give the other team the upper hand. The main point is continuity for the A's and from the London Lightning. Both sides just to prepare for the playoffs, just make a couple tweaks. London, of course, not resting their starters per Coach Julius. See, as in, if he'll play if needed for this London team. The A's will be looking to make that first impression, as you said.
And we're going to see what happens right here, but now we're going to go upstairs. We have the anthem and starters for you, so watch that, and we'll see you folks at the Knoxstrom halftime.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's 50-50 draw is raising funds for the London Run for Ovarian Cancer, which supports research on ovarian cancer being conducted right here in London at the Cancer Clinic. The young woman that you see on the scoreboard is Natalie Baker. Natalie was a physiotherapist with the London Lightning in their first year of operation, but in her second year with the team, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Just 8 months later, Natalie passed away from ovarian cancer. She was only 26 years old. Ovarian cancer is the deadliest women's cancer. Less than 1 in 3 of women diagnosed with ovarian cancer will survive for 5 years, but ovarian cancer receives only 2% of the funding for cancer in Canada. We desperately need more research on the early diagnosis and treatment of ovarian cancer. The London Run for Ovarian Cancer is dedicated to raising funds for research on this disease. Now in its 15th year, it's raised almost $1.8 million. All the proceeds from tonight's 50-50 will go to the run, so please be generous. This year, the London Run for Ovarian Cancer will be held on Sunday, May 14th at Springbank Gardens Bandshell on Wonderland Road. May 14th is Mother's Day, which is perfect because the purpose of the run is to protect women, including mothers, from ovarian cancer. Everyone is welcome to come and support the run, which begins at 10 a.m.
Now, 45 years later, tell us about that. I was a grade 7, Nito was a grade 8. Everyone who was alive, that is, all the old people here, remember where they were when you scored that goal. What stories have you heard over the years?
Well, almost every day I get a new story of someone, but one of my favorites is, this about several years ago, a married woman came up to me and she said, "Paul, I was 12 years old when you scored that goal, and I was in class, and there was this guy that drove me crazy. I couldn't stand the guy. He would sit and stare at me, and I would just get the shakes when I'd see him. But when we were all in the gym together watching it, when you scored that goal, we went crazy. We jumped up and cheered, and I threw my arms around this guy, and I kissed him right on the lips. And she said, there is nothing in the world that could have ever made me do it except you scoring that goal." So I've heard them all.
Now tell us about the past 45 years. How has life been for Paul Henderson?
Well, I've been really fortunate. I've been married to the greatest woman in the world for 54 years, and I am so fortunate that she's sitting down there right now. But I've had my challenges. Actually, I was diagnosed with cancer back in 2009, and I was very fortunate to get in. I had lymphoma and leukemia, and I got into a clinical trial in the United States, and I'm still alive. I still have cancer, but doing pretty well. Thanks every day.
Now, Paul, we're here launching Victory 45 celebrations, the 45th anniversary. There is a special Paul Henderson Museum, guys. Check it out before you head out today. It's set up on the concourse level near guest services, so please go by and check it out. But Paul, you've been busy writing a book. Tell us about that and tell everyone about it.
I didn't write the book. It was not my idea. It was Lillian Kwan over here came to me history of the goal back to this new generation. And I have two grandsons that play hockey out in Oakville. One wears 19 and the other wears number 72. And one of my favorite pictures in my home is a picture of my two grandsons with 1972 on their backs. And so the book it's a celebrate the 45th anniversary of the goal, and obviously very Canadian. And so Lillian wrote a book about two grandparents that want to tell their children about their grandchildren about 72. And the story is about how they're doing it. And they buy two jerseys, a 19 and a 72 for their two grandchildren, and then they go on and explain it. The thing that I love about the book, it's entirely Canadian. Canadian written, Canadian published. Everybody in it was Canadian, and of course, the highlight of my life was putting on this Team Canada sweater back in 1972 and representing this country, and the world needs to hear about it, including my grandchildren.
All right, guys. Let's call up the owner of the Lightning. Paul, don't go away. Vito's coming up with another special guest. And James is here, the owner of the Orangeville team as well, guys. Another big, hold the jersey up, Vito. This one's not worth 1.2, no, I don't think, not yet. Both owners along with Paul there. And, hold on before we head out, before we have tip-off. We have drawn a lucky winner from section 114. Row D, seat 16, where are you? 114. D, 16, where are you? Come on down, you're the winner. Come on down. And guys, one more big round of applause for Paul Henderson. Come on, guys. All right. And one more thing before I hand it off to Al. Go Lightning!
Thank you, Steve. Nick Pamparella, thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Local 1059.
Okay, welcome sports fans to Budweiser Gardens. We just witnessed Paul Henderson on center court with the owner Victor Friesa on the Lightning celebrating the 45th anniversary of that unforgettable goal for me that I actually saw live on TV. I'm not sure about you. You're quite a bit younger there,
I was
Chris.
about 20 years away from
All right,
being
well,
part
you
of the
got
planet
different
Earth
memories,
there.
but yes, awesome to see Paul Henderson. I'm John Van Howling along with Chris Croucher. We're here to call this game between the London Lightning and the Orangeville A's. Really a meaningless game in the standings, but not really meaningless today as they're going to meet Thursday for the first round of the playoffs.
And you know, it's interesting because London's already come out and said that they're going to play their starters. We don't expect to see them get full minutes, but they are going to play their starters. And I think London's the type of team, they've got that mentality that they want to win every game, as many games as they can. Even if they don't have playoff positioning on the line at all, they still want to come out here and put up a winning effort.
Well, we've seen no let-up in the London Lightning on their record-setting season. They clinched the playoffs, a few weeks ago already. Clinched first place overall a few weeks ago already. Have set some team and league records as well along the way. And it's no sign of let-up, and I don't think we'll see it tonight. I don't think Coach Kyle Julius has it in his DNA to take it easy.
And you know, he's really instilled his own personality into this team, so you know every single player out there is going to be gunning for another W here. And I also think we are going to see some guys who maybe didn't get as many minutes get a lot more here, and I think this could be an important game for a guy like Mo Bolden, kind of joined the team late. He's been learning the systems. He's been trying to get into that groove. And I think we're going to see quite a bit of him. We're going to see quite a bit of a guy like Marvin Singleton, who he's been a pretty good piece for this team. They just haven't needed to play him as many minutes as maybe his ability warrants. And he's a guy who I think has a chance to put on a nice show here tonight.
Doing some starting lineups here for the Orangeville A's. Rick Bodiford, Harris, of course, is starting for them. Anthony Harris, that is. Enrico Dioreto, that is an awesome name. Deshaun Cook. And Thomas, Corbin Thomas, that is, for the Orangeville A's.
You know, that's that lineup there for the Orangeville A's. A lot of those guys have gotten some starts. So, I mean, Orangeville's not going to come into this game just giving it away either. And for both teams, there's almost a bit of a cat and mouse thing going because you still want to win this game, but you want to give up too much because you know that the very next time you play, it's going to be the exact same teams in the exact same building, May 4th, for the beginning of the first round of NBL Canada playoffs.
Well, the Orangeville A's coming off a huge win in Niagara. The River Lions, they were in a dog and cat battle, or however you want to cat fight, dog fight, whatever you want to call it, yep.
You know, for Orangeville, like, they really needed to get that W. Of course, if they didn't get the win in Niagara and then say they came here and lost to London, they would have found themselves on the outside looking in. So for Orangeville, that Niagara win absolutely crucial to them. Good for them for getting it done. And now they get a little bit of a preview of what may be to come in the next 3 to 5 games.
Well, it was a huge comeback win for them last night, I believe it was. 11 points down in the fourth quarter, coming to win by 3 at the end. So we do have a playoff preview tonight for May 4th, which is Thursday night, 7 o'clock here at Budweiser Gardens. It'll be interesting to see how much intensity both teams bring to the court. London, of course, with their record-setting team, has the upper hand in this series with the Orangeville A's. But the Orangeville A's, like a lot of the teams, unlike London, though, with the exception of London, a lot of the teams out in the West here, there's been a lot of turnover in personnel. And, of course, one of the key pickups recently for Orangeville will be, of course, Tyshawn Patterson.
Yeah, and he's an interesting guy on this team. He's been up and down, and he's already played 3 games. He had 1 point in his first game, 2 points in his third game, but 24 points in that second game, and that's what Patterson can be. He's that guy who, when he gets hot, can really be just a dominating scorer, but he does kind of run hot and cold at times. So I think a guy like him has almost that game-breaking potential, because if you're a coach and you put him in the game, maybe your team's not shooting well. If he gets hot, he can claw you right back into a game. So it's an interesting pickup, and it gives them another piece to head into the playoffs with.
Well, we've noticed that with Windsor as well, picking up Logan Stutz. And, of course, what we're going to feature tonight is the best player on Orangeville. It's Rahir Hollis Jefferson. He has been on a tear the last few weeks and really has been carrying his team, inspiring his teammates to that playoff push at the end.
And, of course, the other guy for Orangeville, Justin Moss, an absolutely dominant interior player. Those two are a great combo, Hollis Jefferson and Moss. In terms of providing inside and outside, you got Hollis Jefferson, who can kind of score in a bunch of different ways, and you got Justin Moss, who can just really bully people down low and be too strong for people to handle. He's a great athlete as well. He's able to make some pretty outstanding plays off of contact, and I think you're going to see those guys, maybe not so much in tonight's game, but Moss versus Royce White is going to be one that's going to be something you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled for as the playoffs come around. For our pregame, it's almost like a playoffs preview right now, because we're talking about the same things that we're going to be talking about May 4th. So for London and Orangeville, we may not see it again tonight, but Moss and Royce White are going to be huge pieces that are going to battle down low, and maybe we get a little bit of a sneak peek. We're not sure, but hopefully we got something special coming here.
Well, basketball is a lot of game of matchups. I think we'll be seeing both coaches experimenting with their lineup to see what kind of matchups or mismatches they can get to their advantage on the court. And I know Kyle Julius in particular will be looking for that with Maurice Bolden tonight to see where his best matchup would be against this Orangeville A team. So we're just about ready for the opening tip-off. London Lightning players throwing a nice orange rubber balls or whether they can soft felt balls out to the crowd. Hopefully they don't throw their arm out of joint. Wow, all the way up to the upper deck. That was quite an error.
Well, I mean, whoever threw that, if basketball doesn't work out, they got a nice little football career going there. That was a heck of a toss.
All right, so like we said, Anthony Harris is number 3 out there for folks looking on the screens or on your computers. Rick Bodiford's number 2. Number 34 is Thomas Corbin. Enrico De Loreto is number 10. And of course, tonight will be, looks like Daquan Cook, starting. For the London Lightning, you're right, they're starters. If they have a starting lineup, this is probably what their starters are. Got Kyle Johnson and Junior Cadogan, Garrett Williamson, Royce White, and Ryan Anderson. And that's been pretty steady for the most part, barring injuries this year. That's been pretty well their opening lineup. Of course, Julian Boyd, it was a starter. He, of course, has been hurt. Kyle Johnson has taken his place. Opening tip-off won by the Orangeville A's. So let's see what kind of game brings this afternoon on a Sunday afternoon here at the Budweiser Gardens in London, Ontario. It's Harris with the ball up top. Long open look. Rebounded by Williamson by London. I'm curious to see what kind of style is going to be imposed tonight, what each coach is looking for. I have a feeling this is almost like a glorified hard-scale practice for both coaches.
Well, again, they're going to see what kind of things work. They're going to try and see what they can get away with. Big shot there, Ryan Anderson. They're going to try and figure out what each other are going to try to do, and so you can't give up too much in this game, but you definitely want to test some things out.
Well, that was Ryan Anderson, the best three-point shooter in the league. Top scorer for the three-point, making that long three outside. He steps off of Corbin Thomas. We saw him in practice in the warm-ups, taking that shot after shot after shot. So Anderson let him have it. He's going to make that quite often. I think that's one of his favorite places. It's Corbin Thomas. Anderson with the ball up top to Williamson. Big battle going on with White with that big screen. Williamson unable to finish by the big screen by Royce White there to free him up. Unable to finish at the rim was Corbin Thomas. He had the wide open look going down the lane. Kyle Johnson up top. A little between the legs pass from White. Will he finish it off? Just not able to cash that in. Was Kyle Johnson. Early shot. Waterford that time. Tip out. Kyle Johnson keeps it alive and follows his own tip. Again, we sort of see the mismatches at the guard position for the Lightning in their favor when they're on offense. And here's Cadogan going hard to takes the old-fashioned hockey hip check and makes the layup.
And great job adjusting for the contact and to have that touch to finish. Excellent job by the London Lightning point guard.
So we see that quite often with the Lightning, their guards. None of them are quick or small, like Alex Johnson, for instance, or even looking at Anthony Harris and some other players around the league. Their guards are a little bit bigger, maybe not quite as quick, but quite often on the offensive end, they'll overpower the opposing guard. Of course, conversely, on the other side, quickness can be an issue for the London Lightning, guarding a very quick point guard. DiLoretto up top with Cadogan. A little push off that time by DiLoretto, not called. Cadogan on the floor, he's not holding anything back. Ryan Anderson, that looked like two hands on the ball there. Got away with it. As Williamson swings it. Johnson's not afraid to shoot it from there. Especially when his feet are set, we know he can stroke it.
And he's been really getting back into that groove of shooting that three-point shot. He got injured around the middle of the year. Took him a little bit to get his feet back under him, but he's got that shot clicking for him now.
Well, if you've been following the Lightning, you know he scored over 50 points to one game and then got hurt shortly after that. I think London's hoping to get him back. That kind of fine shooting for him. Here's that shot that he likes. Is Thomas unable to convert that time. Anderson pushing the ball up hard to Williamson. He does a little what we call the Euro step to avoid the defender and finishes the layup with the run out. A quick 11-2 run here for the London Lightning over the Orangeville A's.
Boy, did London come out here with a little bit of jump in their step. They come out to this flying start. Got a pretty good crowd here, Sunday game. and we're looking at a pretty sizable crowd. Usually we don't see the ends of the arena quite as full as they are tonight.
5,000. That's what I'm saying. 5,000.
I'll go 5,000.
All right,
I
good.
agree with that.
I'm always too low.
Yeah, I think we're getting it. I think 5,000.
5,000. Well, sounds good to me.
Upper Bowl is open, sponsored by Leuna, and we got a pretty good crowd up there too. So again, it's also kind of a special night. They had the pregame ceremony about the run for ovarian cancer, the pregame ceremony for Paul Henderson, and the Victory 45, 45th anniversary of that Summit Series goal. And so a pretty special night here in London. Of course, they also had events going on outside the arena tonight.
I saw that.
I believe it's called Lightning Fest, where they have some performers and they've got some games going on out there. And tonight's almost a celebration of the season that the Lightning have had up to this point.
Well, a quick 11-2 run here for London Lightning. And I'm just thinking about it. If I was Coach Kyle Julius right now, not only would I be happy with the score 11-2, but I would be happy for my players sitting on a bench knowing that the starters are out there playing hard. And Coach Kyle Julius really makes some substitutes. So sometimes when the starters are struggling, you have two choices. You stick with them a little bit longer, try to get the game back in hand, or you can go early to the bench. But I think what I see here are the starters are being true to not only to themselves, but they're being true to their other players on the bench. They're playing hard all the time. If it's a lead like this, awesome. So they're not really, sometimes the subs get their playing time cut because the starters aren't playing so well. It depends on who the coach is, right? Yeah, but I don't see that here tonight.
And also when you talk about motivating the bench and seeing things happening, it tells everyone else on that bench that just because they've got playoff position, they're in a good spot. That looks like Junior Cadogan hurt his arm there. He's going to go right off the court.
I think he's holding his wrist. That does not look good. He's in a lot of pain there. I don't know if he sprained it or dislocated something, but he's running straight to the dressing room.
I think when Bodiford tumbled, their arms might have got tangled up there.
Doug Herring Jr., of course, the first person off the bench, coming up for Junior Cadogan. So hopefully everything's okay down there. This ball stripped by White. Quick outlet pass, beautiful on the rope to Johnson for the finish. That's another quality that Royce White brings to the table.
And the zip on that pass, too. That thing was on a frozen rope right there.
A nice shot by Enrico Di Loretto. I just love saying his name. He's a terrific player out of Windsor. And Anderson, nobody coming back to put a hand in his face. He gives a quick three-point answer. That's his second one for him already. Again, Herring in for Junior Cadogan. We'll have to see what happened with Junior Cadogan later today and get some report from him. Again, London pushing the ball a bit. This is Royce White up top. Tough catch, but he gets control, puts it off the backboard. Another big run here for Lightning, 18-5. See what Orangeville has got left in the tank after that emotional roller coaster game with their playoff against Niagara River Lions, where they had to come back from 11 down in the fourth quarter to secure their playoff spot. Doug Herring Jr. not pushing it hard. Royce White throwing a little too far ahead of him. He says it's his bad. Says Royce, but Herring should have been running full out. That's what he was looking for, was Royce White.
And it's early, but I'm already seeing one stat pop out. London already has 7 team assists in this game. We're not even a full 5 minutes into the game. So great ball movement from the Lightning, and that's why they've got this 18-5 lead.
That's Daquan Cook trying to go over the top of Royce White. Ball deflected out by London.
I should add, Royce White had 2 of those assists, and that's going to give him the London Lightning franchise record for assists in a season. So another record that we've seen get broken during what's been a great year for the London Lightning, and a great year for Royce White, too.
Really shows his multi-dimensional talent. He's playing the 5 spot on this team, and he's the assist.
Well, his points per game would be the second highest points per game in a season for a London Lightning player, too. So, I mean, he's just having a great year on all fronts. And the guy whose record he broke was a point guard who played the same amount of games. So that just shows you how much passing and versatility that London's essentially center is providing for this team.
Yes. Trying to go into Daquan Cook again. Twice now he's drawn a foul down there. Ball gets swung out quickly to Anthony Harris, and it's his second 3 of the game. Good ball movement that time. A little more patience from Orangeville, and Garrett Williamson going hard to the hoop. Defender was not back in time. He took full advantage and drew the foul. He'll be going to the line. 18-8 the score, 10-point lead. Still don't see any sign of Junior Cadogan down at the bench or coming out of the dressing room. He makes his first one.
You know, if you're London, you gotta hope Junior Cadogan's all right. We saw they didn't really struggle per se, but they didn't have as many ball handlers when Junior Cadogan was out during the middle of the year, and you could see it have an impact on some of the lineups that the Lightning like to use. So heading into playoffs, you gotta hope Junior Cadogan's going to be okay.
Yes, and playoff basketball is always different. Doesn't matter what the opponent's record is. You know, anything is possible come the playoffs. Particularly in basketball, you get a hot shooter in there, they may run away with the game. Here's talking about a hot shooter, Kyle Johnson. No hesitation in that shot. Bodford loses ball, but DiLoretto bails him out.
Just heading out right now. Junior Cadogan's coming back to the Lightning bench.
Looks like he's flexing his arm there. Hopefully he's okay. Henderson quickly to Johnson. He steps up. He's feeling it. Unable to convert that time. Looks like he got knocked over after the shot.
Almost got stepped on, too.
Unable to convert. Over the top it was. That's Corbin Thomas holding his position against Anderson. This is White again. Under control with the dribble. Takes up so much space when he's bringing the ball to the hoop.
And he forces a turnover right there. Excellent hustle play by Royce White.
So how many triple-doubles did I see? 4 or 5 for...
He currently has the NBL record for triple-doubles in a season and a career with 4 this season.
4, that's what I thought I saw.
What's crazy is he had 2 of them in a row, and he almost had 3 in a row because he was 1 assist shy in the first game of that 3-game series.
Good ball moving again that time. Johnson pushing it over to Herring, unable to convert. The runner with the ball up top. Ball fake. He's got a mismatch here. Does Thomas. See if he takes advantage of it. And he does, but it's some help from Marvin Phillips that time. And he's pushing the ball up with the dribble. See if he stays under control. And he does. Almost got set up for the charge by DiLoretto, but he was inside the restricted area.
Great adjustment there from Phillips to be able to get the and one play right now. And one of the guys that I'm most interested in seeing tonight's game, Mo Bolden, stepping onto the court. Again, he was a late addition to the London Lightning. He was brought on as an IR designate for Julian Boyd, who is going to be out for quite a while. And Mo Bolden, a guy who's got history here in London. He played 2 seasons here. He's played for Windsor. He's got experience in this league. And he kind of provides a unique skill set by being this long and athletic, almost a small forward, power forward hybrid, but at 6'11", has the height to play almost any position on the floor.
And we can't go without mentioning he played down in the San Antonio Spurs system in the D-League.
First-round pick of the D-League draft by the Austin Spurs.
Gets his first foul. That time, physically being abused that time by Justin Moss, who we know is powerful inside for the offensive rebounds and also for position. And he draws a quick foul on Maurice Bolden right away. 27-12, early 15-point lead for the Lightning. Off to a good start in their final home game of the season. And he makes them. The second one. So, no Junior Cadogan. Doug Herring Jr., really the only true ball handler out there for the Lightning. Maurice Bolden up top. Kyle Johnson, he's a shooter. He's not a primary ball handler, even though he can bring it up. There's Bolden. He's able to force it up and over with control over Daquan Cook.
Excellent play there by Mo Bolden. You see what I mean by that small forward, power forward hybrid, because that's a 6'11" guy moving that smoothly and that quickly to the rim, and then he generates the contact, gets the bucket, and now he gets to go for the and one play.
Well, his length really paid off that time to finish at the rim over top of Cook. course, coming in late into the season, they had a well-oiled machine going here with London Lightning, so his playing time has maybe not has been as significant as maybe we thought as the announcers coming from the D-League. But I think he's going to be a valuable asset come to playoff times. There's Alex Johnson with a quick little pass inside. Good help defense that time by Capers. So Capers on the floor along with Phillips. First sighting of Marvin Singleton, number 12. If you're looking for him on the floor, Maurice Bolden and Doug Herring Jr. So Alex Johnson on the floor along with Justin Moss, Enrico Di Loretto. We got Tyshawn Patterson's number 13 if you're looking for him. The new addition, of course, to the Orangeville A's. Di Loretto going hard to the hoop. Tries it with his offhand. And that's Daquan Cook, unable to hold on to it. He's the original starter. So 4 substitutions in for the Orangeville A's.
And the entire London Lightning lineup are subs in. Got all 5 off the bench.
Of course, no Joel Friesen tonight. He rolled his ankle against our last game against the Island Storm. Phillips with a ball fake. Turnaround jumper. Thought he made it hard on himself, but he made that one look easy. Pushed the defender right into the key and a little fadeaway. This is Patterson with the ball up top with Phillips on him. Bit of a mismatch for speed. Johnson, of course, quick ball handler. This is into Moss. He pushes it out to Cook, who goes hard to the hoop. Lots of opposition, but he's able to finish with his left hand. Capers, that's an extra step for his shot. He should have put the ball down for one dribble before he took that one.
Got a little excited for the open look there.
And he did. 32-15 being the score. So Corbin Thomas coming back on the floor. Cook heading to the bench. Loretto with the ball at the early screen. Going hard to the hoop and able to finish at the rim. Cuts the lead. Doug Herring into Bolden, and nobody's going to stop him that close under. An easy putback. Doug Herring penetrating the defense easily.
Too easy there. Both the defenders on the inside for Orangeville just standing and watching.
It's Patterson with the ball up top. Dangerous shooter, we know. And Bolden staying close to him. It's Johnson to Moss. Marvin Phillips. Hear the slap on the hand all the way up here. Almost a clear steal.
Even a blind ref would have been able to make that one with the sound that made.
That was Phillips trying to steal the ball from Moss. Yeah, Anthony Harris back in. Di Loretto to the bench. Another substitution. Singleton staying hard with Bodiford. Singleton getting some playing time this year. He always works hard. He always has some kind of effect on the game that we see every time he's out on the floor. It's Capers with the ball up top. Bolden taking a baseline. A little floater up top. Gets the friendly hometown roll. That's 3 baskets for Maurice Bolden. Good finish at the rim by Corbin Thomas. He's been very effective inside so far. Royce White coming in right away when they see that physical challenge. Looks like they want to bring White in. Back door to Capers. Nice set play by London Lightning.
Again, this is a lot of London's reserves doing this work right here. This is an excellent thing for a coach to see heading into playoffs, to know that he can rely on his bench to put in this kind of an effort.
Patterson that's Moss getting held down by Singleton. Patterson with a quick shot from the corner. You can see again Justin Moss's effect inside physically. Singleton unable to hold on to him. Or he was holding on to him, but unable to box him out. Basket for Moss, easy jumper, foul line extended. 38-21, still 17-point game here. Phillips up top, looking for Singleton. He's doing a bit of a ball fake, but we know he doesn't really like to shoot it from there. Into the corner to Bolden. Nice cut by Singleton from the top. Another set play by London Lightning that we see being executed really well by the subs.
Just an excellent little give and go by two guys who are showing some really good stuff out here tonight for the Lightning.
Johnson's quickness gets him to the rim. Even with the bigger defender coming as a secondary defender, he still gets it up and under. Capers in the corner. Singleton looks like we're really trying to follow some kind of set play. I'm not sure if that's one, but he makes the three. Good for Marvin Singleton, showing off our dimension.
And, you know, I've been watching Singleton in warm-ups. He's been making that three more and more in his warm-up shots before games. He has that weapon in his arsenal, and now we're getting to see a bit more of it tonight.
Terrific handoff assist that time by the ever-quick Alex Johnson.
Yo, John, I'm still floored by this assist number. 14 for the Lightning in the first quarter already. Just a great passing game for the London Lightning here.
Well, that is. How many baskets have they scored?
17 baskets.
That's a great ratio.
Incredible ratio.
So we haven't mentioned right here Hollis Jefferson. We haven't called his number yet. I'm just looking hard for him on the bench down there as well. I'm not sure if I see him in dress clothes or not. But tell me when you see him.
There is a chance that they might not necessarily be playing him tonight, just due to the fact that, again, playoff position has been decided already.
Yes, I wouldn't blame the coach either for that. That's Phillips. Going to be a blocking foul just a little too late, even though he was being quite brave in there. Alex Johnson with Marvin Phillips coming down on him. He was able to establish position. So I believe that's going to be ball at the side yet. It's not in the bonus. 0.6 seconds left in the first quarter of the Lightning. So if you're wondering out there, why is the coach calling a timeout at this? This is practice for the playoffs. Put a play in motion with the time clock short at the end of a quarter, end of a half. Let's see if we can generate a basket or a foul.
And again, both teams definitely are playing for the W here, but there is an aspect of getting prepared, getting ready, and London Lightning not going to pass up an opportunity to do so.
43-25, that's a lot of points in the first quarter, let by Orangeville A's. London's on fire shooting.
Well, you got London shooting 77% so far in the game, a whopping number for them. Orangeville 43%. And 33% from the three-point line. London 55%, 5 of 9 from the three-point line in that first quarter.
14 assists. I agree, that just jumps off the stats page.
Huge number, and that's something that I know the coaching staff, when they see that, are going to be really proud of.
Well, we could say the same thing of the Raptors the other day. That little funk that they let Milwaukee back from 25 points. I started counting the passes, watching it with my wife. Said, look how many passes are, like one. How long is he dribbling? Like 15 seconds. As soon as they got back into that pass and shared the ball, they put the game away in the last 3 or 4 minutes. The ball always moves quicker than the dribble. Well, unable to convert. 0.6 seconds left in that quarter. Unable to convert. They were in their set play. 43-25, 18-point lead. I'm not sure where all the offense is going to come from for the Orangeville A's. But London's a well-oiled machine at the moment.
Yeah, just an outstanding effort from London. Again, we mentioned that 77% shooting. Just a huge number for the Lightning, and then the 14 assists, great ball movement. Anytime you put up 43 points in a quarter, you're probably having a pretty good game. They're doing it down low, 22 points in the paint in that first quarter, 19 of those points coming off the bench as well. Otherwise, you know, Orangeville hasn't actually played all that bad a game. It's just London's clicking at an incredibly efficient rate right now.
Well, 14 assists and 2 turnovers. Who wouldn't like that?
That's a coach's dream right there. That's the kind of stat sheet that you frame at the end of the game, maybe put on your fridge.
Well, that's going to bring us up to Thursday night, of course. This should be ratcheted up quite a bit, the intensity, I would think, on Thursday night. And then Saturday night again at home here with the London Lightning, and then I go on the road to the Orangeville A's for Game 3, and if necessary 4, and then Game 5 back here. It's a best of 5 the first round in the NBL. This next round is best of 7, I believe, as are the finals.
Correct.
Best of 7. So what we got going on in the dance floor here? Lots of Canadian Maple Leafs, I see, red and white.
The Victory 45 shirts for Paul Henderson.
I see Henderson standing at the corner of the court there, and all those Canadian fans out there, you should know who Paul Henderson is if you don't.
Again, that goal, one of the most important moments in Canadian sports history, and just a very special moment, and one that the London Lightning get to share with their fans tonight.
Yeah, really the first battle of the super giants in hockey. The Russians, or the Soviet Union as they were called back then, had dominated the Olympics, and of course NHLers were not allowed to play in the Olympics because the Russians were so-called amateurs of the Soviet Union. So finally they had this what we call Summit Series or Friendly Series, which quickly turned into a bitter rival in the Soviet Union. Of course, won the first few games, and Canada going to the Soviet Union were behind. And Paul Henderson, one of the heroes of those great team in 1972. He, as the announcer said, he scored 3 game winners in a row, 6, 7, and 8. And the 8 was the iconic one, of course, against the great Vladislav Tretiak, if you remember him, from the Soviet Union. So anyway, all those that are probably older than, what was that, 1972? So if you're born in the 50s or early 60s, you're going to remember all those vividly because you were probably in school. So back to basketball. That's the end of the first quarter. High-scoring quarter for London Lightning. No sign of Rahir Hollis-Jefferson, who we would call probably the main scorer for Orangeville A's, and that's probably fine for tonight. I'm sure we'll see lots of him on Thursday night.
Should add, Stefan Nastich was added to the IR in case anyone maybe was wondering where he was.
Yes,
he was a big
actually,
impact
I was
player.
going to ask about him as well. So he's not on our list for tonight. Bolden able to get the ball back out to White. Great ball handling again. Can Bolden make a 3? It looks good shooting it. That's Anderson trying to get the ball, but that's Justin Moss. Tracks that one down. Alex Johnson, he's got Kyle Johnson on him. A little hook shot, unable to convert. This is Royce White with the ball again. No look pass to Herring into the side for the wide open Ryan Anderson, who turns it down and takes an easy layup.
Ryan Anderson, such a dangerous three-point shooter that usually defenders are closing out on him at full speed, and sometimes he'll catch you with that little cut to the basket and make you look the other way.
Ball, get a nice ball movement here for an open look for Patterson, unable to convert. Good ball movement by Orangeville. And again, mixing and matching are the coaches from what we can see, especially Kyle Julius on London. They have a different lineup here with Maurice Bolden and White out together. Bolden backing Moss out, just scoops it up there quickly. Moss holding his position. If anybody can stay physically with Royce White, it would be Moss.
Again, both very strong, sturdy forwards. Almost a nice looking play there. Gets blown up though.
Again, good challenge. This time a foul because Corbin Thomas staying for that offensive rebound. Orangeville staying with the missed baskets. Challenged by the London defenders, but Corbin again strong on the boards, going to the foul line.
Great job sticking to it there. He hustled throughout the whole play. Excellent job by Corbin Thomas, who's having himself a pretty nice game so far with 8 points, and maybe looking to add more here.
So at the foul line, he is the leading scorer currently for the Orangeville A's. Herring Jr. pushing the ball hard into the corner to Bolden. No hesitation on the shot, and he makes it. The big guy, not only can he put the ball on the floor and take it to the basket, he can make the outside shot. I think it's a lot about confidence, I think, from Maurice Bolden with this team. He's coming to a team that's been playing well together. A lot of players, not very much turnover on the roster here, so really has to find his spot where Kyle Julius feels comfortable playing him, not only for matches on the floor, but also for team chemistry. And so he did play in the D-League, as we said, in the Spurs system. That league has finished, and his playoffs were done early, so London was fortunate for the timing, or unfortunate for Julius Boyd, of course. He's going to be going through his 4th surgery, I believe, for his knee. He is definitely out for the year. Bolden is a great substitute for that.
Speaking of the D-League, there's some Canadian news on that front lately. Of course, the D-League championships were won by Raptors 905 out in Mississauga, the Raptors D-League team. Congratulations to them. Just a huge accomplishment for them and for Canadian basketball on a whole.
Absolutely. Stackhouse, of course, Jerry that is the coach for the D. That looked like a little bit of a travel to me, and it was. A little lost his balance there. I see Junior Cadogan back on the floor. Looks like he's recovered from whatever happened in that collision with his arm or wrist. Good to see.
Again, Cadogan, a very important piece for this team heading into the playoffs. You definitely want him at 100%.
He's guarding Johnson at the time. This is Corbin Thomas up top with Criswell, his first look on the floor. That's Anthony Criswell for London, number 22 if you're looking for him. Corbin again up top. Bit of a mismatch with Cadogan. Long three-point was just at the shot clock by Johnson and rimmed out. Criswell bringing the ball over to Junior Cadogan. Cadogan setting up the offense. Cadogan with out into the corner, and Henderson just hiding in the corner waiting for that pass from White. I was unable to convert, but I didn't even see him there until the pass was made. Skip pass all the way across to Johnson. Quick ball movement over to Anthony Harris, and Moss right down the line.
Moss so good about getting open on those cuts to the basket there, and usually the Orangeville point guard is pretty good at finding him on those cuts. It's where he gets a lot of his numbers from.
Kyle Johnson with a long rebound out to Criswell and a backdoor cut, and he misses the easy putback. Again, this inside is
excellent defense by Criswell there. I think they're going to say an out of bounds.
I think you're right. I was going to say
there.
a terrific offensive follow again by Corbin Thomas, and the whistle blew. I thought maybe a foul was being called, but no, sir. Criswell held his position, and Corbin stepped out of bounds just like you spotted. And here's a size mismatch with Johnson and Anderson. See what London does with this. Pick and roll going into Royce White. Is that going to be called a blocking or a charge? It's going to be called a block, I believe. It is called a block, yes.
You know, Royce White, there's not really a good way to defend him. If you defend the pass, then he'll blow right by you. And if you try to stay strong, even if he does come at you, he's got such a strength to him that it's really hard to kind of stand in his way. Pretty good at just backing a defender right down to until he's right under the rim.
Makes his first one. It's down to 17-point lead. Make that still 17. Moss rips down the defensive board. Johnson pushing the pace. This is White and Moss. That's a great matchup. It's Corbin from the outside. Moss with an aggressive offensive board, just trying to get the ball up at the rim, draws the foul.
And here's where Justin Moss can create some chaos, because not only is he able to score, he draws a ton of fouls and gets himself to the line and gets the bigs on the opposing team into foul trouble. And that's something that, as we see the playoffs coming, if Justin Moss can do that, I think that could be a big key to success for the Orangeville A's, heading into their 5-game series.
So is Nastich out for the rest of the year for Orangeville?
I'm not sure of the length. He's, as far as I know, he's just the IR. He's on the IR, and Tyshawn Patterson is the designate.
It's because I noticed they're one roster spot short here on the lineup that we have. See what happens by Thursday. No sign of Jameson tipping either, even though I did see him warming up for Orangeville.
Yeah, he's on the bench there. You can see him from here. And he's a guy who he can kind of provide a lot of different things in terms of his ability to make the shot and to play some tough defense. He's a pretty good player himself, and Orangeville's got some pieces we aren't maybe seeing tonight that they can bring out for the playoffs.
Well, another assist that time for London Lightning, that time by Junior Cadogan. And a little drop pass for Marvin Phillips after a dribble penetration into the key. That was Tyshawn Patterson trying to go in. Terrific finish that time. I don't know how he pulled that one off. I'm talking Alex Superman Johnson. That's Anderson with a long three. Moss racking up the rebounds as we're staying on the floor for quite a while. Another three-pointer that time for Johnson.
And Johnson, an NC State grad, former #1 overall pick in the NBLC draft. He was the first Canadian to be taken first overall. And he's played for a couple different teams in the NBLC, but this has definitely been his best stop here in Orangeville. He's found a spot.
Good hustle by Anderson coming back to put a little pressure on Patterson that time. Even with nothing really on the line, he was not going to give up an easy basket. Cadogan setting up the offense. High screen with Phillips. Ball movement to Criswell. He can shoot the three as well, and he does. He makes it right on cue. A couple quick baskets by Johnson had cut it down to 16 points or 13 points. We're back up to 16 now. Good patience that time by Moss as well, waiting for the defender to come back down. Able to convert. He is tough inside as Moss gets that position low. You're right, he's drawing a foul or he's scoring a basket.
And really, he's been just a dominant player on the inside in this game. 10.7 rebounds, and he didn't even start. He hasn't played a ton of minutes, but he's been super productive in the ones he's had.
Yeah, it's really going to be hard to read in this game what the coaches are looking for, seeing for matchups and stuff.
Again, there's that cat and mouse. They're trying some things. That's over and back, I think. They're trying some things, but they also don't want to tip their hand to the other coach and make it too obvious what they're going to do on May 4th when those playoffs start.
Timeout called, 14-point lead, London ball, 6 minutes left here in the second quarter, and we got the bowling game coming out on the court. So up to 16 assists here for the London Lightning.
18.
Oh, 18, sorry, yep. And 5 turnovers. Terrific.
Assist number way up for Orangeville, though, up to 10 now.
Well, I think that's the Alex Johnson effect, I think, right?
Yeah, he's been putting in some great minutes here. Him and Bodiford as well. Bodiford's hit Justin Moss with some nice passes on his way to the rim. And that's kind of what's gotten Orangeville a little bit of momentum here. They're actually outscoring London in the quarter 14-10. It's just when you give up 43 in the first quarter, you're going to have a tough time coming back.
Exactly.
And then they're going to run all the way back. First person to knock over all the pins.
Well, 53-39, the score being here halfway through the second quarter. Terrific crowd out here at Budweiser Gardens. I think part of the draw was for Paul Henderson, of course, coming out, the hockey icon, but also a beautiful facility and a great sponsorship here. That's a tough thing to do, to roll those balls back and forth.
Refs had to get out of the way.
And they are pretty quick. Look at that. Oh, there you go.
No.
That's the effect. You can keep your balance, then you're going to be the winner. There's going to be a strike. Got 2 out of 3. And she got all 3 out of 3, and she's the winner. That is tough work. You'll be sweating after that.
You'll be exhausted. You're in what's probably a very warm bubble by the end of that run there. Great athleticism by the children on the court to finish out that play.
So what's the other playoff matchup then? That would be Windsor.
That's going to be Windsor and the expansion KW Titans.
Oh, that's right, the KW Titans. So
that's going to be a very interesting series. KW playing some great basketball of late.
Well, I'm really curious how Logan Stutz is going to figure in all this. He's had a sort of stop and start season this year, of course, with Niagara, and then he was hurt, and then he's not with Niagara, and then with Windsor, playing a few games. Of course, last year's most valuable player. What a terrific pickup. But come playoff time, what impact is he going to have in the playoffs?
I think it'll be interesting because him and Juan Patillo have really started to develop some chemistry by the end of the year there. And if those two can get something going for Windsor, look out.
Phillips with a shot up top, set up by Cadogan, unable to convert. He can make that shot, though. And this is always so quick as Johnson. This is Patterson going to ball to drop off the Moss again, just waiting for it. They are really looking for some dribble penetration off to Moss. And he's been finishing around the rim or drawing the foul. They're creeping back into this game, 12-point lead. Good ball fake that time, and Johnson, he's been hot earlier, unable to convert that one all the way down and back out. Nice set of hands that time by Rick Bodiford, like a wide receiver, catching it one-handed, extended, and then finishes with the reverse underneath the basket.
You know, it wasn't a hot start for the Orangeville A's, but they brought this lead to within 10 here. Somehow that rubber band didn't snap as Orangeville crawling their way back into this game here.
Well, the ball never hit the floor that time after the defensive rebound. One quick 1-2 pass all the way down. Great catch by Bodiford to finish it off. Yes, you're right, down to 10 points it is.
$1,000 shopping spree. Who wants a free stuff? Who wants a free t-shirt? We got some for you.
So then out in the East Coast, do we have the final standings for that as well for the playoffs? We know Windsor and KW will be playing this week along with London versus the Orangeville A's. If we look out east, we know there's...
Well, if we look out east, you're going to have the Halifax Hurricanes taking on the Moncton Miracles and the St. John Riptide taking on the Island Storm. You know, those 2-3 matchups in both the East and the Central are going to be interesting because they're both going to be matchups between two teams that are quite close in the standings. St. John, of course, had the player suspensions that kind of threw them out of sync, and they're really starting to hit a rhythm right now. The Island Storm, they came in here and they've given London, who's got the best record in the league, they put up a heck of a fight in each one of those games.
That was quite a good game, actually, yes.
They got the win in the first matchup, and then they really pushed London in that second one, so that should be an interesting series out east.
Cadogan taking it hard to the hoop, into Cook, who's back in the game, and ball rolls around and out, and Cook gets the blocking foul. Again, that's what Cadogan seems to really bring to the table these last few weeks coming back out of his injury. He's just taking the ball so hard to the rim. Defenders just have to collapse on him, or he's just bullying his way all the way to the rim for a finish.
He just won't be denied, and when he puts his head down and just gets himself to the rim, he almost carries people with him. He doesn't really stop for anything.
Well, we say he's built like a football player. He certainly can hold his own with the big men on the inside when he drives to the rim. Bolden back in for his second look in the game, along with Phillips and Williamson, Kyle Johnson, and Junior Cadogan. We got Daquan Cook out there with Moss, so the two bigs are out for Orangeville. Got Bodiford on the floor along with Alex Johnson yet, and Tyshawn Patterson, who you said had scored 20 in the one game in his third game with the Orangeville A's, coming late to the team, going hard to the hoop, draws the foul. Bolden just can't keep up with his quickness and couldn't get his feet set for the defensive position. So some real speed in the backcourt for the Orangeville A's, which I really think come Thursday night is something Coach Kyle Julius is going to have to figure out how to manage that.
London did a pretty good job against Jahee Carson in that first half of the London Lightning Island Storm game, the last game. But Jahee Carson kind of lit it up in the second half, and then we've seen Maurice Jones, who's had some pretty big performances here against London. And I don't think it's an Achilles heel or a critical flaw, but it's definitely, if you had to look at maybe a weak point, it might be the fact that speed guards have a good time against London.
Now that was beautiful. Phillips with the fake on the three, a turnaround dribble, and a drop-off pass for Williamson for the easy two. That was pretty. And that's what you say Patterson can bring to the table, right?
Well, we talked about it a lot, but he's almost a microwave because he heats up real quick. So Tyshawn Patterson, a guy who can really knock down those shots when he gets his flow and when he gets his rhythm going.
Bolden again from the corner. Seems to like that spot down there. Good ball movement that time by London. Good defense first by Orangeville, denying the first few shot attempts.
I think his teammates are looking for him. Bolden with 11 points in the game already, leading scorer for the London Lightning.
This is Moss over the top to Cook. Into the corner goes to Bodiford. And that's Williamson just fighting off the much larger Cook, just battling for that rebound. Garrett Williamson, like we said, doing whatever the team needs from him. That's Bolden unable to convert, but he was there for the offensive boards. here comes the speed we're talking about. That's Patterson. Is that going to be a travel or a blocking foul? That's going to be a blocking foul, I think, against Marvin Phillips.
I believe it was Phillips and Williamson both tried to get in the way for the charge and ended up bumping each other out of position. Two guys willing to take the body and take the hit for the play, though. That's not a terrible thing, but unfortunately it's going to be a blocking foul this time.
DiLoretto back in the game for Waterford. This next foul from London will put Orangeville into the bonus. Orangeville A's taking a timeout, 59-48, so 11-point game. They're hanging around there, hanging around. Well, continuing on that theme, I think, London, I think, has steadily improved their defense throughout the season. We talked at the beginning of the year where we thought some things really need to be worked on. Of course, it's a long season, 40-game season. But really, they're rebounding at first. They're sort of on the bottom end of the league in the beginning of the year, but they've moved that steadily up the rankings. And we look at the last few games, they've out-rebounded their opponents, offensively and defensively. So that, to me, is no longer really an issue. But what we've seen consistently all year and I think everybody in the league has trouble with it, but how do you stop the quick, speedy guards like the Alec Johnsons, and the Tyshawn Pattersons and the other ones that you mentioned? I mean, that's a nightmare for any team. You just look at the pros. Anybody who's quick, a la Tony Parker. You look at, some of those other quick guards. Even at the pro level, the best defenders are having trouble with them. To me, I think that might be a real key for Thursday night's game, because I think physically inside it's going to be a good matchup between White and Moss, and you got Phillips and Cook. Good trade-offs there. And I think on the shooting wise, I think London probably has better shooters all around as a team. But quickness at the point guard position, a distinct advantage for Orangeville, but can they take advantage of it?
And I will say, we talked about defense improving. One of the things London has done is with those speed guards, their team defense and dealing with that speed has gotten a lot better. You see a lot of guys helping as soon as that point guard looks like he might be turning the corner on someone. I think they've gotten better at that across the board because they have such length on the wings, and they've got guys who maybe aren't as fast as a Tyshawn Patterson, but are able to run and use that wingspan to deter a shot.
So lots of physical action in there, right there. No foul called. That's Moss with a nice finish. He is going to be a load on Thursday night. I can just see it already.
Well, he's already got 14 points in this game. Just a great effort from a former NBL All-Star.
Again, looking up top for Bolden, running the offense through him at this moment. Looking for the mismatch to Williamson, which London gets quite often at this position. And that's Alex Johnson trying to hold on to Williamson, and that's an impossible task with that size difference. London's done a good job all year looking for the mismatches down below with their, what we call 1, 2, and 3 positions, right?
And again, it's almost like London has, they've got their point guard, their center, and then 3 small forwards that they throw out there.
They really do, yeah, absolutely.
They've got Williamson, Johnson, Anderson, those guys that can, and even Friesen, those guys that can really play any of those spots whenever they want to go smaller.
Oh, Johnson with the smooth strokes in the corner. I tell you, that's a good sign for the London Lightning when he's shooting consistently like that.
He's on fire in his past couple of games. He had 31 not all that long ago. He's really getting into a rhythm heading into the playoffs.
Under 2 minutes to go here in this second quarter. This is Cook underneath, kicks it out. I thought he had good position under there. That's Johnson unable to convert, with Johnson getting the rebound. 62-50 under 2 minutes. And that's Patterson with the foul near the half.
Getting a little eager there trying to get that steal. I'm not against that idea, though, because for Orangeville to close this gap, that they seem to kind of hit a wall in terms of closing it. I think they're going to need someone to kind of try to make some special plays here. So I like the mentality. Just didn't work out.
Oh, White back into the ball game. So that's Marvin Phillips coming off. This is Williamson again looking for the mismatch underneath. Quick shot by Johnson. A little off his back foot that time. The ball gets deflected out of White's hands. It looks like
game of hot potato.
But Moss comes up with it, of course. He always seems to be the last man standing with that ball, it seems like. This is Patterson again with Williamson. He strips the ball out of his hand. Great defense by Williamson on a much quicker opponent.
And that's what I mean when I say that they seem to be handling those speed guys better. Had Patterson turned the corner, would have run right into Royce White in the center. He was running him right into the center. A good job there by Garrett Williamson, and a good job by the entire defense to set up something like that.
Yes, a lot of it is on where do you want the dribbler to go as a defensive mindset, right? You're trying to steer, if possible, the guy with the ball to a direction where you know the help is coming from. Doug Herring Jr., we haven't heard too much from him for scoring, but we know he can do that. Just hasn't needed to score so far. That's going to be a reach in and fall on Williamson. Alex Johnson. Doug Herring Jr., another weapon, come partway through the season. About a third of the way in the season, they picked him up. And he's just been a great addition for the London Lightning.
And we've seen him in St. John as a member of the Mill Rats, and he was a guy who was putting up great scoring numbers. And I don't think any of us, we knew he could pass, but I don't think any of us saw him becoming the distributor that he has been here for the London Lightning. He's actually going to, if he continues his average, he's going to have the highest assists per game in a season in franchise history for the London Lightning. That's assists per game. Royce White has the total assist number.
He's played more games.
Yeah, and Doug Herring Jr., a guy I don't think we saw as that big distribution guy. He also broke the record for assists in a game, the London Lightning record, with 19. And so he's been a huge part of this London Lightning team on all fronts. 8 assists tonight.
Moss able to make the outside jumper after that terrific layup pass from Garrett Williamson to Bolden just a second earlier, but Moss able to make the jump shot. Very valuable if he can make that on a consistent basis. 67-56. Last possession, just around the 10 seconds ago. Doug Herring Jr. with the early screen from White. See where he brings the ball. He's taking it to the hoop. Unable. Got caught in midair there. Didn't know where to put it. It looks like it came off of Johnson last. That is going to be Orangeville A's with the last shot of the half. 67-56 it is. Going to use his speed to get the ball up the floor. That's a travel, it looked like to me. A little great defense by Maurice Bolden at the end there. So after that huge first quarter, 43 points I think it was in the first quarter.
43 points in the first quarter for the Lightning, but Orangeville, a nice little comeback here, 31-24 in the second.
They closed the gap down to 11 points, so we have a competitive ball game. I feel the intensity level coming up a little bit.
And again, neither team really has a ton to play for. The playoff positioning is set, but both teams giving it their all, and it looks like they're all going for that W tonight.
Okay, so we're at the halftime. We're going to throw it over to Aaron and Justin for some halftime tail of the tape, and we'll see you back at the beginning of the second half.
Thank you, John. An 11-point lead for the London Lightning as we reach the intermission. We're right here for the Knoxham halftime. JP, plenty of things to cover. London Lightning scoring 43 points in the first quarter, shooting 77% from the field, but it was the Orangeville A's game in the second quarter. But both of these clubs playing their attitude, riding on an all-time high.
Yeah, Orangeville was able to claw back a little bit into that deficit, outscoring London by 7 in that quarter. But the way London played, if you mention with that intensity, they have just been distributing the ball in an almost perfect way. 22 assists on 26 made shots. If you look at it, they have just been passing the ball perfectly on many of their made shots, and it's why they're in this lead over Orangeville. Now Orangeville has to recover. That's partially also why they shot 77% in that first quarter, because they had all but 3 of their shots made off of assists. They are making shot after shot because they're crisp passing.
Well, like I said before, both of these clubs are playing their games. Orangeville's playing their game, but shots haven't been able to go for them. But for the London Lightning, they're being very wise with their shots. And we've seen a little bit of break for the Orangeville A's near the end of the first half, which is the reason why the lead is now 11 as opposed to 23 points not so long ago.
Yeah, that run helped them big time. That's for sure, because they're shooting about 45% on the game, 45-46%, and they've picked that up. They're shooting the ball well. The main issue is that first quarter from London, they have to crawl their way back still to come back from that deficit. And it's kind of hurting them at this point if you look at it. I feel that Orangeville's going to be able to come back into this slowly with how they're playing. It's just a matter of playing defense.
I think Tyrone Corbin and Alex Superman Johnson will be the X factor for the Orangeville A's in the second half. But on the other hand, Maurice Bolden coming off the bench scoring double digits thus far.
13 points from him, 6 of 9 shooting. He's playing well. You mentioned the scoring. Every player who has been on the floor tonight for London has scored a basket. That is a huge accomplishment. That includes of course, Singleton. That includes Criswell. That includes Doug Carey, who was the last on that list with a three-pointer. Everyone is getting involved in that offense for London, but Maurice Bolden, of course, leading that way, leading the charge with his 3 rebounds on top of that and his assist on top of that. So good performance from him. Kyle Johnson, 11 points from him. Great shooting. 3 of them 8 shots from beyond the arc. So right now, London's got everything going on all cylinders. Orangeville, meanwhile, Justin Moss is ripping apart that London defense.
Justin Moss really coming into the clutch as he has been doing the whole season. It's Paul Henderson afternoon here at Budweiser Gardens, as you've seen in the pregame ceremony. So we got sports celebrities galore right here at Budweiser Gardens. But on the other hand, we have the Island Storm visiting the Cape Breton Highlanders. And for the Highlanders, this is their last game of the season. The Island Storm, they want one more win before they play St. John this coming week.
Yes, right now that score, Cape Breton is up by 15, 75-60 at this point, midway through the third quarter. As you all know, the Island Storm are locked into the third seed. Cape Breton, unfortunately, will not be making the playoffs for them after losing 2 straight to Moncton. But right now, they're showing a final performance very well. If you look at the stat lines for this one, 15 points right now from Darren Scott, 25 from Billy Rush. Dominant performance from him. But then you have on the other side, Al Stewart also performed for the Island Storm in their last regular season game, of course, with 22 points himself.
Well, it's going to be a big game for the Island Storm, considering they have a big challenge away for them. So Storm and Riptide coming up later this week. As we move on to this second half, what does Brandon Levosky's Orangeville A's got to do to take London off their tempo and find some way to cut this lead and eventually come back?
Well, one thing that, as you've seen, that hurt him in that first half was the way London was distributing the ball. Orangeville, I think, needs to add more defensive pressure and force more turnovers. Because even with those assists, London just had 7 turnovers. They have to find a way to force the ball to be turnover, force bad shots, essentially, and try and make London do more isolation one-on-one. Those are the shots London has been missing. The ones they have been making, of course, have been those assists. They have to do that. They also have to, of course, continue to do what they're doing on the offensive end, because they've been dominating in the paint, especially near the end of the quarter, because even though it's a +6 advantage points in paint for London, they've been able to do it on the isolation that London has not been able to. So Orangeville has to continue to do that. Last week, continue to try and get the boards. They got the rebound advantage by 1. One thing that's helping them is exactly that. Keep that up, giving it to your big men like Justin Moss, and getting your big shots from the men you need to make shots like Corbin Thomas, and you'll have a shot to be in a close one at the end of this one.
And I seen when the London Lightning were on defense, they had a little bit of difficulty picking up on their own weak side, enabling the Orangeville A's to come into the post and take care of those easy shots. What do the London Lightning have to do? Methinks that the bench has to step up and finish the job.
I think so too, because right now, like I mentioned, the main thing that is keeping them in this lead is that first quarter. They have to be able to play better defense themselves. They cannot allow that weak side to come in. They cannot allow multiple shots in the paint or in the post like it was in that second quarter. They also have to continue to distribute the ball and try and work around any defensive pressure Orangeville gives them, because you know Orangeville is going to try and create a lot of pressure out of that locker room and a lot more turnovers. Try and find a way to do that, and also take higher quality shots when you aren't getting it off an assist, because those shots, they are, like I said, the ones they're missing, the ones they are struggling with. They got to find a way to get the isolation shots, get the shots contesting traffic when driving into the paint, and so forth. We're going to have to see how these two teams adjust.
And as you've seen, the Orangeville A's have been adjusting to as best as they can in the second quarter. If you remove this first quarter, like you said, JP, this would be a close game. But anyhow, it's an 11-point edge for the London Lightning. So here we go. Dying moments of the regular season here at the National Basketball League of Canada. London Lightning 67, Orangeville A's 56. We'll have the second half for you, John and Chris on the call. We'll see you folks at the Knockstrom postgame. You know where and when, but now we step aside for this timeout.
Are you guys ready to find out who it's going to be?
Okay, welcome sports fans back to Budweiser Gardens. Start of the second half. I'm John Van Houwelingen, along with Chris Croucher, calling this game between the future playoff matchup on Thursday night between the Orangeville A's and the London Lightning in an 11-point game. Good comeback by Orangeville in that second quarter, Chris.
Yeah, they really put in a good effort to keep this game from getting too far out of hand, and they find themselves in a tough spot, but within reach, especially if you make shots like that.
That's right. That was Alex Johnson from the corner to cut it down to 8 points. Quite a significant comeback here. Of course, we know they know all about comebacks. They did it against Niagara last night to clinch their playoff spot and snuff Niagara's hopes out in an 11-point comeback in the fourth quarter. Well, we weren't sure what we were going to see quite tonight. That's Daquan Cook taking the foul from Royce White that time. A nice dribble penetration. Keep forgetting he's left-handed. Thinking he's going with his offhand, but he's not his power hand.
You know, not a lot of lefties in NBL Canada that I can think of off the top of my head. Daquan Cook, one of the few.
He's at the foul line to cut into his 8-point lead. Looking on the floor for London Lightning, they do have their 5 quote starters out that they've been starting with for the last couple months for the most part. So Coach Kyle Julius, sticking with his starting lineup. Justin Moss, who was a monster in the first half for the Orangeville A's, especially in that second quarter, on the floor for Orangeville, along with the other big, Cook. And we've got Patterson on there, along with Johnson and DiLoretto. So 3 terrific guards on the floor for Orangeville A's. Cadogan inside to White. Didn't hear too much from him other than some number of assists in the first half from White in the first quarter. That time he takes it hard to the hoop. So many moves he has underneath, getting his shot off or drawing the foul.
And because of that, and not only that, but his ability to pass, there's no real good way to defend him, because whatever you defend, he's just going to do something different, and a very versatile offensive piece.
Makes his first of 2. We were just commenting at halftime as we were walking through the hallways there how many kids are here from this Upper Bowl. I just love that companies are sponsoring the Upper Bowl for this game. Bring all these, well, we're seeing between 5 and 12 basically a lot of the kids are. They're just going to they're having a terrific time here. You can see it. And thanks to the sponsors, and today in particular was, who'd you say it was again?
The Victory 45 for Paul Henderson, and then Leuna sponsoring the Upper Bowl.
That's what I was trying to remember for the sponsor tonight. So,
but it shows when they have all the kids come out on the court. This game might have had the biggest group of kids on the court for that.
Absolutely.
And it just adds to the atmosphere. And one of the ways that London's built this kind of a following in this city is by getting kids involved. And then the kids are going to make their parents come with them, and then all of a sudden you're selling extra tickets.
That's exactly what I say too. Getting a loyal fan base and a good product here as well, and their good ownership. Patterson with the ball, fake Johnson. This is Moss. Will he take that jump shot again? No. A little pump fake. Reverse layup against Royce White, no less. He finishes with a flourish.
Tough play, but beautiful finish from Justin Moss.
White bit on the fake, on the up fake, because he had made that jump shot earlier, did Moss. This is Cook with a tough matchup with White. He draws the foul again. He just does such a great job moving his feet, keeping the angles with his body from the defender off him, and then either getting a shot off or drawing a foul. Rarely does he turn the ball over down in the low post.
You know, that's one of the things that he's improved on the most since the start of the year. His first couple games, the turnover number a little high. He hasn't really had more than 4 turnovers in a game for a long time, and I know 4 might seem high for some players, but considering how much he has the ball, how much passing he has to do.
Every possession, the offense runs through him. Cadogan back out there, looks like no worse for the wear. Loretto shooting the long 3, and Moss again, I think that time a bit of a push off. Williamson got the inside position, and Moss, the off arm, got that offensive rebound. Foul with Moss, but he is tough to keep off the boards. Henderson, a couple early threes in the first half. Johnson as well. That time ball overplayed by Cook. He strapped the ball loose to DiLoretto. DiLoretto taking it to the hole. He loses it with some good help defense by Williamson. This time it's Johnson with Cook, and can he make the reverse? He does! So back and forth they went with the turnovers, and London comes out ahead, back to an 11-point lead. It's Moss going back door. That was great help defense recovery by Ryan Anderson. Patterson had gone back door.
Yeah, right idea by Orangeville, but Anderson just makes an excellent play on the ball there. And we talked about the speed, and that's the type of play Orangeville should try to run, because if Patterson can take advantage of that speed, then they can find themselves with some points on the board.
Turnover again, this time. Flush by White on the good run out. Good defense on Moss. And then a run out for the London Lightning, and the big one-handed flush. Made it look easy.
Huge dunk there from Royce White. And I mean, London seems to have their offense clicking again. I believe we have a timeout there by Orangeville.
And there's that
just to settle down.
one-handed dunk. Looking good. So quick timeout by Orangeville, 76-63, back up to 13 points. And looking at that replay, you can see the smooth finish and the pass by Ryan Anderson. Of course, we mentioned already that there are a couple players we have not seen from Orangeville A's, and I think understandably so. That's Rahir Hollis Jefferson and Jameson Tipping in particular are not. We haven't seen anything of Slim McGee either. I see him sitting on the bench, but no sign of him on the floor as well. And the one open roster spot with Masters, we think, if he comes back healthy in time, will fill that 12th spot. This team will look quite a bit different on Thursday night when the playoffs start. Whereas London Lightning have played everybody I can see on the lineup. Everybody has played some minutes tonight.
Just about. Joel Friesen injured, but it's still listed on the roster. So other than that, it's everyone's touched the floor here, including some big minutes by Maurice Bolden, who we haven't seen for a while, but is still tied for leading London in scoring in this game. Doug Heron Jr. also doing great work. He had 8 assists in that first half.
Well, Cadogan's back on the floor. Herring's usually the first one off the bench for Cadogan. Sometimes they play the 1-2 punch like the Raptors do with Joseph and Lowry. That's the Herring and Cadogan set here. But London still with the starting lineup from the beginning of the quarter. Alex Johnson playing a lot of minutes. He didn't start the game, but since he's come back in and early or late in the first quarter, I don't think he's been off the floor. Just Cook up top. This is Patterson again looking for a shot. A little scoop, and he makes it happen in traffic. We rarely see any zone defense in this league. It's pretty well all man-to-man. Yeah, this is White. This is with the ball underneath, and Williamson with the finish at the rim. Just swarmed was Royce White underneath there. 3 players on him.
Yeah, I think this is Orangeville experimenting a bit on how to stop Royce White. Just seeing if there's any kind of quirky things that they can do to mess him up a bit.
Patterson with the long shot. Somewhere there's a foul. I'm not sure. Is that on Daquan Cook? Must have been the push-off underneath because he had his hand on that rebound. The referee saw something to call it back. So here we talking about Doug Herring Jr. in for Junior Cadogan. Typical rotation. So Coach Kyle Julius pretty well sticking with his regular rotation and minutes, other than maybe Bolden's got a few extra in this game. But he's treating it just like a regular season game. So Anderson taking the ball to the hoop. Up and under, old man scoop under Moss.
It's a little YMCA move right there from Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, that was terrific. Sort of a moving screen with Williamson and Moss all over each other. Moss trying to get his position. Now a backdoor cut, that time by Patterson. Good connection between the 2 quick point guards from Orangeville A's. could call him the dynamic duo. Well, his name is Superman, so it's not Batman and Robin, I guess. So. Alex Johnson I'm talking about. There's Anderson with a quick three. Unable to convert, but we know he's dangerous from there. Cook bringing the ball up into Moss. That should be a travel, I would thought, but he never put the ball on the ground. But it's not. He's there in two and up and over the defender. So we're down to 11 after all that flurry of excitement here. A couple dunks, layups, scoop shots. It's 80-69, 11 points for the London Lightning.
London really holding firm. They haven't let it get anywhere within 10 points, this gap anyways.
Again, White, left hand or right hand. He can go either way, hold his position either way, draws the foul against Cook. He has a tough time holding his position with White on the defensive end.
I feel for Daquan Cook there because he really had nothing to do. White did a great job initiating contact. Cook kind of did all he could to not foul, but still managed to get the call.
Corbin in the game for Cook. And White at the foul line. Makes his first. And he makes his second. So extends it to a 13-point lead. Just under 7 minutes to go. Like we say, Johnson's been on the floor ever since he subbed in, I think. He's driving to the hoop, little dish off to Moss. White sticking with him that time. Makes him force a turnover. Capers with the ball to Williamson. To the alley-oop, and a finish one-handed by Capers. I thought maybe got a little bit out of control there, but what a finish.
Oh my goodness, what a play there. Garrett Williamson to Marcus Capers, beautiful.
That all started from White's defense on Justin Moss underneath. That's what started it. This Patterson with the step back, all kinds of head shakes and shimmy shakes, trying to get up free for a shot. DiLoretto pops back for a shot, unable to convert. It's going to be Williamson running the ball again with a smaller defender on him. Takes it right to the hoop. No letting up for Williamson.
Great finish, and he just did not get stopped at all going to the rim there.
So what answer does Orangeville A's have? Are they running out of gas here in the third quarter? Let's see. Patterson, or that's Johnson trying to get a shot off, and that's Moss just bullying his way in, knocking down Capers, no foul called. That's just the strength of Justin Moss inside. Williamson with the mismatch with DiLoretto, they aren't able to get the ball to him. This is Doug Herring Jr. with the crossover dribble off the backboard. Just holds off the defender with that leading shoulder. I'm calling for a foul, but I thought he did a great offensive play there. Just holding off the defender with his leading shoulder and puts the ball off the backboard. Again, Moss underneath. That's good help defense by Williamson. That's Kyle Johnson trying to guard Justin Moss, and that's probably 75 pounds in difference, I would say, and maybe a few inches in height as well.
That's quite the impact that Garrett Williamson took on that play, too. Moss was going full steam ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a look back here at that Marcus Capers play.
Terrific. So Moss on the foul line. Like we said, he has had a real effect tonight. I'm sure come Thursday night, his intensity level will be even ratcheted even higher. How many points is that for him?
That's going to be 22 points, 9 rebounds.
2 points, 9 rebounds. Wow. One-man show.
He's kind of had his way in the interior here.
Makes his foul shot for 23. Brings it back down to 15. So Capers and Singleton along with Herring and White and Maurice Bolden. Now they're playing a bit of a zone here. I thought I saw it earlier from Orangeville.
Again, I think this is an experiment by Orangeville just to see how it works. Doesn't work that time though. Doug Herring Jr., big three.
And who threw the pass for that? Royce White, of course, right? Quickly sees the open man and swings it there in time for him to get the open shot.
And that's the thing, you can slice up a zone with quick passing, and London might have one of the best quick passers in the league.
Moss for a three, no less, and he makes it, showing all kinds of facets of his game. Back to man-to-man, or is it zone? Still back to zone again. It is for Orangeville. London just moving the ball around the top, down on the side, into White. Nice, easy play of the mismatch.
Yeah, I think London's passing game is too good for a zone to have too much of an impact on them.
I agree with that, especially with people like White moving into the right spots and the height of Bolden throwing over top of the defense.
A little bit of a crazy thing here. London's only taken 3 shots outside of the key in this entire quarter.
Wow. Really finding their way inside. Well, that's the Royce White effect. We know he's been on the floor for quite a bit. This is Singleton with the push-off on Moss.
You know, it's not a stat that the NBL tracks, but I gotta think Justin Moss is one of the highest in the league in terms of drawing fouls.
Drawing fouls, yeah. Very
he's-
similar to White, you're right.
Yeah, he's been sent to the line so many times, and even the ones where he hasn't been sent to the line, he's the one drawing them. And he causes chaos because it forces a coach to try different rotations, to maybe not go with the best matchup that he can, because he has to worry about maybe someone being in foul trouble. And that's kind of the impact Moss has, not just on the stat sheet, but on the game in whole.
I don't think we'll count that as a pass for Singleton. He got caught underneath the hoop. Herring Jr. with the shot, 5 seconds left in the shot clock. That's Phillips going to the board. He is going to be called for the push-off foul.
I think that's Singleton actually for grabbing the arm.
I didn't see Phillips doing anything. I thought he was pointing at Phillips. Singleton battling underneath. (93-76) to score. A little over 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. London putting on a bit of a run, and Orangeville unable to match so far other than Justin Moss. Capers bringing the ball right out of the rebound. Capable ball handler as well. Singleton with a wide open 3, and he converts. It's a wide open look. That's Kyle Julius' preferred style. He said sometimes he knows it's early in the shot clock. We may not see that maybe in the playoffs, but definitely in the regular season.
Marvin Singleton, a perfect shooting night now, 3 for 3, including 2 for 2 from beyond the arc.
Just Phillips and Moss. Moss again with that head fake. And a little drop off, returning the favor to Tyshawn Patterson.
You know, Orangeville's kind of not really clicking as a whole, but Justin Moss is really putting in the effort here. Just putting in a great effort. He's got to get the teammates to help him out a bit here.
Ball moving again that time by the Lightning. Unable to convert, though. It was a wide open look was Capers, but 3 or 4 passes generating an open look. Patterson with a quick 3, and Bolden skies for that one way up high. Herring Jr. under control. This is Singleton again. And another 3-pointer. Now look at the bench from the London Lightning. They're coming off the floor, giving them high fives. Knowing that he has not played a whole lot this year, but has kept hard work ethic in his practices, does everything required off the bench, and they are happy for him to make his 3rd 3, I believe, of the game.
That is his 3rd 3, and again, perfect shooting night, 4 for 4 for Marvin Singleton, getting himself 11 points here. London Lightning actually have, he's the 6th player on the London Lightning to reach double-digit scoring in this game already, and there's still a couple guys who are pretty darn close, too.
99 points, that's a big run this third quarter. We're not even done the third, we're at 99 points already, and a 21-point lead.
Well, with 2 minutes left in the third, London's already got 32 points in the quarter compared to only 22 by Orangeville. Again, I feel for Justin Moss. He's doing everything he can for Orangeville here, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of points coming elsewhere.
31 assists I see on there for the London Lightning. Wow, that's
excellent ball movement.
Of play. That's 10 assists a quarter, and we saw a great ball movement, actually, especially when the zone was being applied by Orangeville, which I think you're absolutely right. You're trying out to see, if that's a way to shake up the offense from London, but it certainly wasn't. They passed the ball crisply and got open looks.
I think Coach Julius is the thing he'll be most proud of from this game is that 31 assists. And just the way that they're playing as a team, it's reminiscent of the winning streak that they had. They broke the record for consecutive wins, and this is the kind of mojo, this is the kind of chemistry that they had going during that run. And we're seeing it here tonight. And I mean, what a role to go into the playoffs on.
Well, a caution, of course, to the fans watching out there. This is not the same quite team we'll see, the Orangeville A's, on Thursday. I am quite sure, as the aforementioned players we talked about are not either dressed tonight or playing tonight, or maybe coming back off injury. So I think we'll see a bit of a difference on Thursday here at the Budweiser Gardens again. We'll call that game for you here Thursday nights, May 4th, 7 o'clock. And Moss again, just tough load underneath when he has that spot, slimmer to Royce White. So hard to stop him. That's Phillips' third foul. He'll be shooting 2. How many foul attempts has he had now for Moss? This must be out there.
This is going to be his 9th and 10th free throws.
That's what I thought, getting to double digits.
You know, he's 6 of 8, or pardon me, he was 6 of 9 from the free throw line, but 10 of 10 from the field tonight. So a perfect shooting night for Justin Moss in regular play, not including free throws, but a great job.
Well, again, Herring's still out there as the point guard for the corner for Phillips, and London's on fire with the threes. Everybody's looking good. They are so deep on the three-point shooters. Well, we know they have par excellence with Ryan Anderson and Kyle Johnson, of course, but just look up and down the lineup. So many players can hit the threes in this game now, and in particular, London Lightning. That's Moss losing his balance, capers, bit of a spin-around dribble, gets undercut that time by Patterson. That's such a huge weapon for London Lightning. How many players did they average in double figures this year? I think it was 8, 8 players averaged in double figures. Chris, you can check that out for me on the stat. But how many players have shot threes and made threes on a regular basis for the London Lightning? I go up and down the lineup, there are at least 5 or 6 that can shoot the threes on a regular basis.
Well, going off the stat that you were looking for, the how many players averaging double figures, you've got quite a few, 8 players averaging double figures for the London Lightning. Royce White, Ryan Anderson, Kyle Johnson, Julian Boyd, Garrett Williamson, Doug Herring Jr., and Joel Friesen, and Marvin Phillips, all averaging double points per game. And it's just amazing how many options Coach Julius has, how many times he can look at his bench and feel confident in what he has.
I totally agree with that. So they are a juggernaut this year. See if they can keep rolling it through in the playoffs. Capers gets his own miss off the rebound. Bolden pulls it back out. Good patience there. 102-80, a minute to go. 22-point lead. Looking for Singleton underneath. He's got Bodiford on him. See what he's got underneath, and he makes it, keeping his perfect record. Is Singleton, and again, his teammates cheering him off the bench. A huge run here by the London Lightning in this third quarter. Doing it all kinds of ways, inside and out. Double team, and that's Capers jumping in front of that. Bolden behind the back pass. I don't think that's going to count for an assist, I don't think. And,
the bench wanted him to get that.
Yes, it was an unexpected pass for Singleton. Bolden with that unlikely behind the back pass. Patterson, he just all kinds of jukes and jives and shimmy and shakes. Head fakes, and he draws the foul from Phillips, I believe.
Again, Patterson, a guy London Lightning fans are familiar with. Before he played for their rivals in Orangeville and then their rivals in Niagara, he was a member of the London Lightning last year, was one of the better rookies in the league last season, provided a lot of high-scoring games as a member of the Lightning, but I think he kind of tailed off just a bit at the end. Akeem Scott, when they got him, kind of cut into his minutes. And Patterson, a very young, very talented player. That Orangeville, they have Stefan Nastich go on the IR, and you see a guy with the ability and the potential of Tyshawn Patterson. It's almost a no-brainer to go get him.
Well, I think it's a terrific pickup. This is really a great game for him to play. He's played most of the minutes of this game, which I think is just terrific for him fitting into a new team, and for his teammates also to see what he brings to the table. It's a lot different when you're playing against the guy and when you play with the guy. You see what he does when he's your teammate. White back on the floor. Took Phillips' spot. Bolden throwing it up over top. And Singleton's throwing that up. He's going to throw his shooting percentage off, but the shot clock was off. So 104-82, a big run, blowing this open to 22 points against the Orangeville A's. See what the A's bring back in the fourth quarter.
And again, just a huge third quarter there from the London Lightning. 37 points in that third quarter. And they're still shooting the lights out. 63% from the field, 42% from three-point range,
Wow.
12 of 28. And again, that assist number is a coach's dream. 32 assists. The ball's always moving. And it's just really been a great show here from the London Lightning in front of a crowd that we're looking at as maybe 5,000 to 6,000 people here coming out for the final game of the London Lightning season. And it's just been a great effort. And I got to give props to Justin Moss, too, on Orangeville, who's playing his heart out. 29 points, 9 rebounds in this game.
Yeah, we saw some highlights in there as well for that big dunk from Royce White, which I think...
See some comments complimenting our replays here at Nordstrom TV. I know Alex has worked really hard to provide those replays for you guys, the fans, and Nordstrom TV working really hard to do that. So we're thankful that you guys are complimenting, and we hope we can continue to provide that for you.
Well, I'm having a great time here. Really looking forward to Thursday night when I know the intensity level will be at an all-time high this season, I would think. I think the Orangeville A's, they're not showing everything they got tonight. They're playing hard. It's not like they're holding anything back, but
They're definitely hiding a few cards up their sleeves right now.
I think they are, and some players, which I totally understand, resting some of their players for Thursday night. I'm really anticipating a hard-fought battle on Thursday night.
Happy birthday to Kate Bradley celebrating with us.
So everybody on the London Lightning getting a run out tonight, it looks like. Everybody who's dressed, that is, other than Joel Friesen, who's off with an injured ankle. Hopefully he's good and ready for Thursday night.
One stat for the London Lightning, 7 players in double digits tonight.
Again, a zone being shown here by Orangeville for you can see it on the screen there. And wide open, that's Maurice Bolden. That's his second or third three. He shot one from the far corner. Well, it must have been counted as a 2 then. So that's his first official 3. He's showing his range as well. 6'11", being able to shoot threes. Who's going to stop that one? Herring Jr. with the travel. He's looking for the fast break, but he had a defender right on him.
He turned around ready to run, and then
look at Bolden and
almost
White
right into a
down
black
at
jersey.
the end here.
Yeah.
They were hustling down the floor, just waiting for the ball to catch up to them. London trying to fast break right off the rebound.
Herring Jr. At 10 assists now in the game. 2 points away from a double-double. He's got 8 right now. 8 points, that is.
Well, he's been looking to set the ball up tonight. You can see that. Not really looking for his own shot tonight. Totally understandable with this huge lead. Trying to work on other aspects of his game. Behind the back pass. And this is Corbin Thomas. We heard a lot of him in the first quarter. Haven't seen too much since that time. But he's back on the floor now, along with Daquan Cook for Orangeville. Singleton still on the floor. White with a high screen for Herring Jr. into the corner. Ball getting moved around very well. This Bolden again wide open. And he has to do the fadeaway jumper, and he makes it. Wow! That's a terrific shot. And we're talking, remember, a 6'11" player putting the ball on the floor with a fadeaway jumper. Steal by Doug Herring Jr. This game is quickly getting away from Orangeville. And again,
great extra pass. Might have wanted to take the 3, though.
He was on fire, but I think he's thinking of taking it to the floor. He sort of hesitated, gave the defender a little bit of time to come back to him. Coach Kyle Julius says, shoot that 3. That's what we generated off the passing. Don't be afraid to shoot it. So some positive encouragement from Kyle Julius. And I think you're right, spot on this beginning of the game. Really trying to get some more looks from Maurice Bolden. Slowly working his way back into the lineup after playing in the D-League for most of the year. Coming on to a team that was on a roll.
And again, he's such an athlete that, I mean, if you can get him going and get him integrated into this team and have a 6'11" guy with his skill set, that's a huge boost to your team.
This is White just taking the ball right out of the dribble from Thomas. Bringing the ball up in his what we call three-quarter slow motion. And the ball, I think he just lost it on the dribble. He thinks it got knocked out, but I don't think anybody from Orangeville touched it that time. Tyshawn Patterson becoming one of the primary ball handlers again. Looking in the corner for Bodiford, driving hard to the hole with the alley-oop scoop. Unable to convert. Looks like there is going to be a foul called. I think Cook trying to get the offensive board.
I think they're going over the
right?
back on Marvin there. Marvin Singleton, that is.
Cook in the corner, turns down the three-point shot. Bodiford up top. Singleton on him in the scoop. That's Cook right over top of Singleton, with using his extra length to get that. Tyshawn Patterson, good ball movement that time by Orangeville, but unable to convert. Quick shot in the corner that time by Capers, unable to convert, but that's Bolden with the ball. I think it's going to be a held ball here. No, the ball comes out for Singleton again. He just pulls it back and sets up for the offense.
I love that effort from Marcus Capers. Final game of the year. You don't have playoff position on the line, but he's still hitting the deck to get that ball.
Alex Johnson with the steal. This is Patterson into the trees. Somehow or other he draws a foul, even though I don't think any defender was aware of what he was going to do. But that'll be the third team foul on the London Lightning. So Bolden heading to the bench. Criswell coming in. Big disparity in the score here, but Orangeville sticking with their offense, seeing what they can generate. This is Patterson again. He is so tough. He has so many moves off the ball. You don't know what he's coming or going. And this time a backdoor, unable to convert. Not sure why he changed to his left hand that time. Could have gone right to the rim. Patterson, that is. Capers in the corner with Phillips. Stepped out of bounds.
Clipped the heels on that line there.
Section 114, again, a winner over there of $250 downtown dollars. Time is running out. One more lucky fan is going to win a downtown shopping spree for a chance of winning $1,000 downtown dollars. Post a photo on Twitter or Instagram. The hashtag GetPTL and get struck with your section, bro.
Long three-point attempt, and that's, I think, what Patterson can bring to the table. You're right. If he's hot, he's going to be dangerous. I totally agree with that. He's getting lots of looks tonight at the basket from his teammates, so getting himself ready for Thursday night's playoff game.
This is an interesting lineup for the A's, too, going with the smaller backcourt of Patterson and Johnson. See if maybe having two guys with that speed will provide an advantage. Royce White there, excellent post move down in the paint.
Nice little head fake up and under Cook. Didn't know what hit him. 26-point lead at this time here. Sort of takes the air out of the balloon a little bit, doesn't it? That big lead. DiLoretto taking the ball to the hoop, into the corner again. This is Johnson taking it, draws the foul, and he finishes it. Up and over.
Had to put a little weird spin on the ball with his right hand there, able to get the shot anyways. Great job by Superman Johnson.
Justin Moss reporting to the bench. So what should I say to the scoring table, I mean, and coming off the bench, back in the floor. And he converts for the old-fashioned three-pointer, does Alex Johnson. Just under 8 minutes to go in this game. And then the teams will rest up and have a nice little break Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then back here on the floor, Orangeville A's making a trip down the highway. Such good presence of mind with Royce White. Lost his dribble, but kept his head and got double teamed and tosses underneath for Criswell.
He had 4 A's go swarming for the ball, and White kept his composure and just picked it up and fed it to Criswell.
Well, Moss matching the same production inside. Griswold with dribble penetration. This is Singleton. Takes it off the backboard. And look at Ryan Henderson jumping off the bench for the London Lightning for his teammate. Well, Coach Kyle Julius really appreciates Singleton, even though he doesn't play him a lot. So just appreciates his intensity and his hard work ethic in practice. Always comes ready off the bench. Says that's the kind of players that I want to have on my team. And you can see it translating here. In really a 30-point, 25-point game, nothing on the line. He's still playing the correct way of basketball, playing it hard. Taking pride in what he's doing on the floor. Unable to convert that time was Johnson. This is the alley-oop. Looks like Moss undercut him, or it's going to be the offensive board. Which one is it?
I think they're calling that on Criswell based on
he pushed
Coach Julius's reaction
Moss out of the way, right? Yeah.
I think that's what they're saying. I can't recall any time seeing an alley-oop play result in a foul on the offensive player. That's an interesting call by the refs to say anything.
Well, I thought Moss was in the restricted area as well, but unless he got pushed into there by Criswell, I don't know if there's a replay on that or not, but definitely something we didn't see that the refs saw.
Coach Julius is furious there, just threw his clipboard down. He's still talking to the ref.
Hard to tell.
You can hear him from up here.
Singleton holding DiLoretto, I believe, that time. Called away from, play away from the ball there. 1:15:90. I think referees trying to keep the lid on the game, even though I didn't feel there was any really animosity going on. Patterson with the ball and Johnson. That's been a dynamic twosome for Orangeville, to be honest with you. And just so quick as Patterson. I think he traveled that time trying to get the shot off in time for the shot clock. That's a lot of speed in the backcourt when you put Johnson and Patterson together, and then DiLoretto's no slouch himself.
You know, it hasn't been a bad quarter for Orangeville with those two. It's a smaller backcourt, but I think they've been working well together.
Good help defense that time by Patterson, stripping the ball from Criswell. That's going to be Orangeville ball at the end. So, timeout on the floor called. 1:15:90, 25 points. Lead slowly coming to the end of this game.
London really putting on a show tonight, still shooting 63% from the field. Just a huge number, 41% from three-point land. They've been shooting that number consistently pretty much since the start of the game. Haven't seen much fluctuation there. In the assist number, still 35, just an excellent game, moving the ball. In the bench scoring, they got 60 points from their bench players, 54 points in the paint. Just an excellent job by the London Lightning at just about every aspect of this game so far.
Curious to see what team record for assists is in the game. I'm sure it's higher than 35, but I'm curious to see how close we're getting to that.
Well, the franchise record for the London Lightning is 44.
So they get close to that, yeah.
They can flirt with that. It'll be tough to break, but they can definitely flirt with that number. That number, of course, set January 20th, 2013 versus the Montreal Jazz.
Oh my goodness, that's
if
a blast
anyone remembers if anyone remembers the Quebec era.
I do.
NBL Canada.
I was here for the first 2.5, 3 years of the league. Saw the Quebec Kebs or the Montreal Jazz, whatever you wanted to call them.
Interesting thing: the top 3 games of assists against of team assists in a game, all 3 are against Montreal. The top 3 games that London's had passing the ball. But tonight's effort would actually tie them for 5th in franchise history for assists in a game.
How do you have this all at your fingertips? I said something.
I make my own spreadsheet.
Within 10 seconds, you got all the stats. It's unbelievable.
I make my own spreadsheets. I grab all the stats, put them all together, throw them in lists.
All right. Well, that's good to have. I was just sort of speculating, wondering what the franchise record or team record is. And so 44 it is, and we're at 35. But either way, those are big numbers for assists. When considering you look in the NBA, you get 22, 23 assists in a game, on average, you're doing awesome. So anything over 20 assists in my mind, with less turnovers, of course, that's the magic number. Criswell with the wide open three. Again, great ball movement by London. That would have been another assist if that had been in. Patterson up top. This is Moss, got Criswell on him now. Criswell, he steals the ball and saves it. Throws it underneath his own basket, which is never really that good. And White with a terrific drive to the hoop, and Singleton and Criswell just crashing the boards. They're not letting up at all, are the London Lightning.
Again, London making a nice little statement to go into the playoffs with. Give a little bit of Orangeville something to think about when you beat a team with this kind of a score.
But I really do anticipate a different look on Thursday night from Orangeville, especially if some of those other players, which I assume are not injured, they're just being rested, a la Greg Popovich's model from the San Antonio Spurs, which not everybody agrees with.
Maybe not resting that much.
Has been taken too far by some of the teams in the NBA, but totally understandable. We have not seen Jameson Tipping. We have not seen Rahir Hollis Jefferson. We have not seen Slim McGee. Of course, Nasic we know is on the IR at the moment. Maybe he'll be back. So this team will look different.
I just like the mentality from London that they're just not going to let up. They're going to try and send a little bit of a message here, give a show to their fans. I just love that mentality, that competitiveness, and that fiery streak. Royce White just got thrown. That should be a foul.
Yeah, well, actually, he carried the ball when he did his dribble. You can see it from this side. Coach Julius couldn't see it from where he was, but if you saw his spin around dribble, he actually held the ball for a step before he put it back down.
That's a good call by the refs then. I didn't like what the defender looked
right there.
a little rough.
See him carrying the ball there?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Looked like there was a little bit of extra thrown into the defense of the play, though.
Yeah. The ref talking to Royce White, telling him what he saw.
Well, I think Royce might want a flagrant called on the defender there.
Was a little bit extra after, I agree. White going for the early steal. And again, quick finish underneath by Johnson. He has great body control when he's up in the air like that. I think with such a slight frame, he'd get bumped around, but he always seems to be able to go where he wants to go in the air. It's going to be foul call before the basket. Great interior pass that time from the top into Criswell, who had raced down in the key to establish his position.
Royce sitting at 5 assists in this game. I think he's just had a bit of bad luck with guys not making the shots, because that assist number could be a lot higher in this game. But the team assist number, again, still huge, 35 assists.
Should be lightning ball. They're calling it before the shot. I'm not sure what the argument is. It's going to be on the sideline. Should be the inbound pass by Criswell.
Keep an eye here. Doug Herring Jr., Tyshawn Patterson getting a little bumpy here.
Yes, see what kind of intensity comes in the last 5 minutes of the game here. Hopefully we don't have any rough stuff. Get ourselves set up for a quality game on Thursday night. I like that Capers didn't try to make something out of nothing there. He just brought the ball back down. That pass was a little bit low for him, but he's wide open underneath. Good look by Doug Henning Jr. Or Herring Jr., sorry. Just Cook back with the ball again. He's got Capers on him. Capers just moving his feet against a much bigger defender, holding his ground. He gets run over and draws the offensive charge.
Great recognition there for Marcus Capers, who I think London, he might be their biggest playoff addition, Marcus Capers, because of his ability to lock down on defense and do things like we just saw there, drawing the charge, really disrupting some of the scores on other teams. I think Marcus Capers, a very unsung hero on this team.
Well, Cook going to the bench. So who we have back on the floor? Looks like Corbin Thomas is back on the floor. We got Moss, DiLoretto, Johnson, Patterson, Thomas on the floor for Orangeville. Capers still on with Criswell, and Singleton getting lots of playing time tonight, of course. Criswell with a step, fade away, and makes it.
Beautiful shot there, Tony Criswell. Silky smooth.
So just over 3 minutes to go here. It looked like a holding or pushing foul between Thomas, and I think the foul is going to be on Capers, I believe. And they should be shooting Orangeville. That brings them over the bonus. Shooting 2 from here on in. Yes, Thomas going to the line. So the game's out of reach for sure. 120-92, 28 points. I think everybody's going to be holding their breath and nobody gets hurt.
Corbin Thomas missing the first there. Had a pretty good first half, but we haven't heard much from him since.
Yeah, and he hasn't been on the floor much either. I think the coach sort of saving him as well, I think. Again, White, no let up, just pushes the ball down until he gets some resistance and gets foul. That's a 5th team foul, I believe, on Orangeville, so it'll still be a London ball. I just like Julius is still up on the floor coaching every minute of this game. Criswell with a long 3, unable to convert. Ball tipped back to Thomas. This is Patterson again. He's more than a capable ball handler, that's for sure. Going to the hoop, kicks it out to his partner, and an easy 3 for Alex Johnson.
Again, Alex Johnson, he's got 17, pardon me, he's going to have 20 points in this game. He's really found a home in Orangeville and really established himself as one of the better point guards in the league.
Singleton looking underneath again, comes right back out, and he's ready to shoot. That was a good looking shot by Singleton. And again, a quick shot that time, and he makes it. Patterson. Oh boy. Just want to think what's going to happen Thursday night when he really has the green light to play and shoot away. Backdoor cut, unable to convert that time with Singleton. Just a little in front of him, that pass. Loretto going hard to the hoop. Henderson says White with the ball being held by Patterson. I think everybody's taking their foot off the gas here a bit with these last couple minutes.
For sure. Now, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it too much. 2 minutes left. Justin Moss right now is 11 of 11 in the game. That would be the most baskets made on a perfect shooting night. If this holds true, there's 2 minutes left. If he may miss a shot, but previous record is 10 for 10. Moss 11 for 11 right now.
So, give him the ball or don't give him the ball? That's the question, right? They're giving him the ball, but Criswell overplays him, steals it and throws it ahead for the easy flush again for White, sending a message, I think, for Thursday night. No let up on the London Lightning. Well, we know London can score, that's for sure. Highest scoring team in the league. Dribble penetration here by Johnson for the easy look for Patterson. They make a good 1-2 combo of those two. At least on offense they do.
And we talked about them experimenting in this game, and I think they might have found something with this Johnson-Patterson backcourt here.
Herring with the ball up to Criswell, who's getting lots of playing time tonight as well. He's played well. Herring Jr. with hitting the minute mark here, taking the ball to the hoop, into the corner, deflected by DiLoretto. Here we go again, quick outlet pass. DiLoretto with a quick little bounce just to get around the defender. Smooth move. They break the 100 mark to 102. Like we said, everybody sort of let the foot off the gas on defense in particular, I think. White, the beneficiary of it. And that still doesn't count as a miss because he got fouled for Justin Moss.
I really hope I didn't jinx it, because that would be an impressive record. 11 for 11 again.
From the field, not the foul line, but
yeah. The record was set by Jean Volsi in St. John, 10 for 10 shooting, and Justin Moss right now 11 for 11. Marvin Singleton getting a big clap here, coming off the court. Fans really showing him some love.
As are his teammates.
They're fanning off Singleton.
He was so hot shooting for earlier.
Yeah.
Now he's worked up a sweat. Good for them. Moss makes his foul shots. He must be getting over 25 points now. I'm thinking pretty close to it for Justin Moss.
Justin Moss, that's 31.
31 now. I lost track of one of his baskets there. Okay. This is Johnson with the ball to DeLioretto with a wide open three, getting some practice shooting in with his dead-eye shooting. Down the last couple possessions here. I think London's got one left in them, then possibly Orangeville. 126-107. The fans giving a rousing ovation to the London Lightning for a great season. 20 home games. Terrific record at home. Terrific turnout by the fans.
They still have to take a shot. Or they're just going to let it run out, hand it to the ref.
They are, and then it'll be ball offside of the bounds, and that'll be the ball game. So we are all set up for Thursday night, Chris. Really curious to see what's going to come of that game. For player personnel in particular for Orangeville, we saw all the London's skill set tonight, all of the players. We know what they're bringing to the table. What will Orangeville bring?
Yeah, just a lot going on in that game. London really trying to make a statement in that game. They did a great job. With that win, we now know what the official record for most wins in a season will be at 35 wins in a season. They broke the consecutive games won streak, and just a great cap to a great season that they hope can have a championship trophy shaped cherry on top as the London Lightning head into this playoff series. I think there were a couple of things I liked from Orangeville in that game. I liked that Patterson-Alex Johnson backcourt. I think that was really effective later in the game, and is something they might want to look to. I think they also learned not to do his own defense, so there's something you can take away from that game too. And just an excellent effort from the London Lightning, and should be an interesting series, especially if Justin Moss can get clicking the way we saw him in this game, and keep drawing those fouls. That'll be one of the keys to the series coming up.
Okay, so final score 126-107, 35-5, the final record for the London Lightning. Terrific game tonight for them. We look forward to Thursday night. I'm John Van Houweling, and along with Chris Croucher, we're going to follow up with Aaron and Justin for the wrap-up of the game. We'll see you on Thursday night.
And the London Lightning pull off a convincing win, winning it by 19 points over the Orangeville A's to cap off the regular season. They are now 35-5 with perhaps no win in sight. JP, a lot of people stepped up, especially in the post department, but among all of us, one player that stood out the most, the Singleton, Marvin Singleton.
Marvin Singleton definitely had an impressive performance off the bench for him tonight, because if you look at the stats, 15 points, 3 triples, a great performance from him. One of the best we've seen from him all year, I think. That's for sure. Plus, you have Maurice Bolden with 18, 13 Kyle Johnson, 11 Garrett Williamson, and leading the way in scoring, who do you guess? Take a guess. Royce White, 21 points. Just about everyone finishing double figures except for 3 players. Although Anthony Criswell just finished 1 point short, and a double-double, just 2 points shy of, was Doug Herring Jr. with 12 assists and 8 points.
You got to dig Doug, honestly. Orangeville A's, given the benefit of the doubt, Justin Moss ended up with more than 30 points. If it wasn't for him, I don't think the Orangeville A's would have had a big of a fight as they tried to overcome here this afternoon.
This game might have been over about 10-20 minutes ago if he wasn't here tonight. He was 11 from the field, on top of 10 of 12 from the free throw line. 33 points from him, 11 rebounds, a double-double from Justin Moss. Great performance from him. Then you have Alex Johnson, 20 points, stepping up. Enrico Di pardon me there, 12 points, 21. Tyshawn Patterson. It was a decent performance overall, although they only played 8 of their players, resting a few players, with Jamison Tipping, Rahir Hollis Jefferson, and Slim McGee not playing tonight. But overall, they played well. It's just the third and first quarters were what killed them, because especially that first quarter, it was a deficit too much to overcome, even with as much effort as they had all game.
And considering the London Lightning shot more than 70% from the field after the first quarter, they ended up with a great 62%, probably their best shooting performance in the regular season. Well, I do say so myself, but they were very wise with their shots. Orangeville tried to pick up on the other end, but there were some shots that did not go, and for all those other shots, it looked like the rim had cellophane on their end.
I guess you can say that, because you mentioned with the ball movement and the offense for London, they had all but 9 of their field goals from the field come off of assists. Even after that first half, where you'd think they make adjustments, when all but 4, were off of assists. So it was basically, as some might put it, poetry in motion with ball movement all game long, because they were taking advantage of every shot chance they had when it was coming off of a good pass. They struggled, yes, here and there with the isolation, but it improved as the game went on, partially because of Doug Herring waking up with those 6 points in that third quarter.
Exactly, and an interesting showcase from both clubs. Now they have to rest out for the next 3 days, and then come Thursday comes the ultimate challenge. The other out-of-town score, Cape Breton pulls off a win over the Island Storm 104-102 in what will be their final game of the season. Tough break for Cape Breton, but at least they got a win to cap off their first season.
Ending off on a good note, because one of their top scorers tonight, in fact their leading scorer, Darren Scott, posted on Facebook earlier this morning they wanted to end off the season on a good note. And they did with that 2-point victory, 104-102. And he was one of the main reasons why, with his 2 of 6 shooting from outside, 11 of 17 from the field, and 5 of 6 from the stripe. With his double-double, 11 assists on top of that. He wanted to end off the season on a good note. The entire team did. And they did just that. They were so close to making the playoffs, but that tiebreaker with the losses to Moncton, too much to put them in mathematically at this point. A one-shot difference against Moncton last week, we might be talking a whole different story coming into the playoffs.
That indeed. Final words of the regular season at Bud Gardens.
The final moments of the regular season, I should say, London probably has had the biggest regular season for the ages in their franchise history, if not one of the best. Because multiple records fell this season. They had talent stacked on top of talent, on top of talent, on top of talent. They had huge turnouts for just about every single game, 5,000, 6,000 a night, mostly 8,000 in some of these games. But at the same time, the playoffs is a whole different deal. And as we've seen in some cases, even in the NBA with last year's NBA Finals, just for reference, if you don't go all the way, even with the regular season successes, it does not matter as much, if not become a thought for many fans, if you don't go all the way. London is going to be challenged now that the games are to the point where it is do or die. Best of 5 in that first round against Orangeville. They're going to be challenged. Both teams, as you know, were playing with vanilla-type offenses tonight and tuning whatever they needed to get tuned. You're going to see a whole bunch of different offenses and defensive schemes. on Thursday.
And we're going to see a lot of challenges, too, around the league. Here's how the playoff bracket sets up right now. On the Atlantic Conference, it's a 1 versus 4. Hurricanes will play the Moncton Miracles for the first round. And then for the 2 and 3 battle, it's the St. John Riptide playing against the Island Storm. The Central Conference, as we mentioned, Orangeville A's will have the challenge to go up against the London Lightning. And then starting Friday night, the Windsor Express will play the KW Titans in a 2-3 battle. So it's going to be quite interesting. And that's the story for you right here, folks, in the regular season. We started off with 10 great teams, 2 new teams coming into the NBLC, Cape Breton and Kitchener-Waterloo, one of them only making the playoffs. But a note to Cape Breton and Niagara who missed the playoffs, do not be discouraged because the effort you guys have played has been very phenomenal, and I bet you by next year, you guys are going to come pretty stacked up. The fans love you for it. They love you for the support, and we wish you all the best during the offseason. But for the 8 teams that are surviving for the playoffs, one of them will only survive as victors and will hoist the championship trophy. And we'll all see how that unfolds starting this Thursday night right here. We're back here once again Thursday night. The Orangeville A's and the London Lightning, game 1 of the best of 5 Central Division first round series. We're going to have a new look, folks. We hope you enjoy it. We have the pleasure of your company as always, as we did in the regular season. So thank you to all of our crew, especially you, JP. What a great way to finish it off, and good to see you back here too.
Yes. And a lot of things, as you've seen with the replays as well tonight, was something that started up tonight finally. From what I've seen, some of the fans enjoy that. It's going to be fine-tuned in that for those first playoff games later this week. I was just asked, of course, to mention that, but I'm happy to have those too, because you can even hear the announcers up above, John and Chris, referring to those said replays, so it's helping on both ends. But with that, this has definitely been probably the best season I've been with Knockstrom in all my time here. I'm glad to be working with you this year, Aaron.
And thank you.
And as well with the rest of the team, this is probably one of the best years I think I've ever had.
And it isn't over because we got Windsor and London to cover for the playoffs too. We're technically on the road. We're here at Bud Gardens and we're going to Lakeshore to the Atlas Tube Center for the Windsor Express playoff games. So once again, we invite you to tune in for the playoffs. Knockstrom.tv got both of those 401 teams covered for you. But other than that, that does it for us in the regular season. Final score, 127 to 106, or switch that around. Either way, the London Lightning set a league record 35 wins, 35-5 overall, and that's how they will begin the playoffs. We will see all of you Thursday, and once again, thank you. This has been a presentation of Knockstrom Digital Media, producing the media excellence in Southern Ontario. Until playoff time, for JP, Justin Prince, and everybody around the whole Knockstrom.tv crew, this be Aaron Sanders saying so long from the Forest City.